Hi, I'm Meko.
Hi, I'm Vasia, and welcome to Natural.
Today we have a very, very, very special guest to both Vasia and I. Angela McKnight, welcome to Natural. We are so excited to have you here with us.
These my girls.
Yeah.
I'm happy to be here, and thank you so much for inviting me to come on your podcast.
This is the second time. Go ahead.
Really, thank you for coming.
Yeah, because this is the second time you're here, right? We've done this when we first started Natural to Natural. You came on, you shared your story. So it's just such a pleasure to have you back, because now we're going to get some more, some more juice out of you. So what's been going on? What's your hair care journey? All the things that you have going on in the natural hair care world and movement. So we're really excited to get started. So of course, first, we want to just have people get to know you in terms of your hair story, right? So how did it all start for you? Like growing up, was it a thing in your house? Did you wear your hair natural? Were you forced to wear relaxers? Like how was it in your household just with your natural hair care journey?
Well, first, we had a virtual podcast.
Right.
So this is the first time that we are live.
Yes.
So thank you so much.
Absolutely.
So when I was young, I did not wear my natural hair.
Okay.
I had a perm. I had a curly kid. Girls.
Yes. So how old were you?
Just for me?
I had it just for me.
How old were you when you got your first Just For Me?
It probably was maybe 6 or 7.
Oh, young.
Young. Very young.
I think I was about that age too. I remember being about 5 years old when my mom first relaxed my hair. So was it like torture for you, or you just really didn't know what was going
I
on?
had no idea. That's just how it was.
But you
right?
loved it when you saw it in your hair.
Little clips.
Yes.
With the little clip
bobo,
right there, the bobos. Yeah, so it really was. It was normal,
Okay.
right? It was normal to have a curly kid. It was normal to have a perm.
Okay.
Just for me, it was just normal.
Okay.
We didn't talk about our natural state of hair.
Right. So when was it when you decided that you were no longer going to put a relaxer in your hair?
Oof. Well, that's a great question. So it's been just about 13 years, but right before coming to the realization that I am done, I want to go natural. I used to have, I used to go to a beauty parlor. I used to have my personal person who used to do my hair, and I was just tired of the wait. I was just tired.
The experience.
The experience. I was just done. And then I started seeing people begin to wear the natural hair, because again, it wasn't a thing.
Right.
So I remember one day going to my girlfriend's house, and I said, you know what? I'm going to go and do the big chop. And she was like, well, I said, yes, give me some scissors now, I am like,
And it was probably just Indio scissors. It was just Indio scissors.
It was only Indio scissors. She might cut her pants with the scissors.
Oh my goodness.
So I go to the bathroom, right? And I said, give me the scissors. So she gives me the scissors, and I take the middle of my hair,
So there was no
and I cut it.
I can't believe you just did that.
There's no going back.
No.
And we both in the bathroom. She was like, I was like,
Where did you see that technique?
nowhere.
Wait. So the real question was, when you got home, what did Anthony say?
He was like, well, what happened? I said, it's done. I cut out all the perm, right? I did the big chop. I cut it out. And he was like, what happened? I said, babe, I'm just done. I'm going natural. Now, I didn't know how to take care of my natural hair. It was just, I'm just going natural. So my kids, they saw my daughter. She was like, Mom, what'd you do? I'm like, I'm done.
Everybody was just shocked.
My son just shocked. Right now, I'm working in corporate now. I'm working in corporate, so I have to go to work.
Right.
Okay, how was that?
Thinking about it at that moment.
I sure wasn't.
Oh my goodness.
So going to work, so I had to, cut the rest of the strands out. And I went to work, I had all these products. I go to the store and I
Right,
find
of
all these
course.
products. I don't know what to get, but I'm
Yeah.
buying all these products. And I go to work and, people would look, but then there's some people, like, oh, wow, you cut your hair. Looks good.
So my question is, how did you style it? So you cut it, but then how did you actually style it?
A teeny weeny.
Oh, it was a teeny
TWA.
TWA.
Yeah.
So did you texture it at all or any? Or no, you just rocked it just like
I
that?
just rocked it.
that was like me. I did the same thing.
I know what to do. I put the products in there. Turning it.
People just look at you. A lot of times they'll look at you and they not say anything, and then you have some that will ask you it. But the worst thing is the ones that don't say anything.
Well, think about this, right?
They just stare at you.
But think about this. In corporate, I used to go to work with all these different hairstyles, right?
So-
From braids, right, to wigs, to these different styles. And then this day, I'm coming with like short hair,
Short natural
hair,
textured hair.
textured hair. And it's like, okay, what's going on? But I never had anyone come to me to say, what is that? Or,
Can I touch it?
or can I
Can I
touch
feel
it, right? I never had that. Now I had some stares, right?
Right.
Because they still trying to figure it out.
Right.
Like, is that long hair?
Right.
Or Friday?
Trying to figure out if you're gonna start locks. That was the big.
No, you know what they were thinking? Like, is something wrong with Angela? Is she okay?
Exactly. And I used to get the goals, right? Because I would go and look on YouTube and figure out, okay, how people wear the
The
hair.
man to get the puff,
Girl.
that white puff.
Yes, girl. But I survived. But then as the years went on, I started didn't know that it was called this. I started doing protective styles.
Okay.
I didn't know it was called
Protective
protective styles, right? I would get the wigs, I would get some braids, and it was fine, right? Because I'm like, okay, Angela, what are you doing with your hair? Because I didn't really know how to style natural hair. Right? I was just short and then put bow hair, and put a little something over here.
Flower.
What's the
Flower. That was your face. Yes.
I love these flowers.
Yes.
That was the thing back then too. Like you got put in a stereotype of being a tree hugger or earthy or bohemian
Mhm.
because you're natural, and people treat you that way.
Mhm.
You know?
So it's just all these questions going through my mind. So, because sometimes when you get a different hairstyle, you kind of dress different, right? Right. So, did you start dressing different once you cut your hair off, or it was pretty much the same style?
Well, like, when I used to wear, and I love this picture, we went, I think it was a holiday party. I was still in corporate. It was a holiday party. I had the nice red bow, and I made sure I had gotten this nice red scarf, to complement the bow, right? Because I'm like, I have to
Dress it up.
dress
right,
it, right? Because my hair is still natural,
Right.
but I really don't know if this is still acceptable, right? You don't know. And I'm like, I'm in corporate. I am a director. I have to meet business people, right? So I didn't really know how they would react to my natural hair.
Right.
Because again, when I was younger, we never talked about the natural state of your hair.
Absolutely.
Right?
So we never learned how to take care of it, how to style it.
Mm-hmm.
So how are you feeling now that you have cut your hair natural? There was no going back. So it was just a matter of moving forward. Like, how did you begin to embrace it? Like, was it a challenge for you to embrace it?
Yes, it was a challenge because I started doing the protective styles. Right? Because I'm like, okay, what am I doing? How am I doing? And I really didn't find a stylist to work on natural hair.
That was the other challenge.
Right? So I'm like, I am stuck with YouTube and
Trying to figure it
out. And I want to do this hairstyle. However, it don't come out like this.
Right.
Like, you look at this and this is the product. Like, that's not right. That's not right. But eventually I came to the realization that I am fine with my hair. Like, I love who I am, and I wasn't looking for acceptance anymore. It was just me. And you know, I'm an elected official.
Right.
So I went down to the State House rocking a fro.
Wow.
But it took time for me to get there.
But that alone, yes, do you realize, especially because even being in corporate, right? So, you're in a director, your position and you owning your natural paved the way for so many women who were very uncomfortable and didn't know, because that's what happened for me when I started working for one of the top salons in the country. And it was my very first time seeing women of stature, like women in title, women in positions, being natural and proud, not natural and covering it. And I'm like, oh, I can do this. Because I was just, no one else around me was doing it. And I knew that's what I really wanted. I just didn't have the guidance to do it. So once I started working there, immediately I chopped off my hair. It wasn't a second thought. And of course, now it's like, okay, what did I do? It was like a shock. But then it was like the versatility, the variety, because I went into protective styles. But it was all about learning how to care for it.
Absolutely.
That was the biggest thing for me, and really embracing it and then being able to teach other women, you know, like yourself. So you walking into whatever courthouse or wherever you are with that natural hair, it just said so many values for so many other women around you. You probably will never know, right?
I'm happy that you said that maybe about a month ago or within the last month, I went to Walgreens. So I was going to Walgreens. And this young lady, she says to me, "Oh my gosh, I'm so happy that I see you." I'm like, "Hi." She's like, "I used to live across the street from your sister." She said, "I want to say thank you." I said, "Okay." She said, "Thank you." "Okay, you're welcome." She was like, "I just landed a job at a corporate company, and I had braids in my hair, and I was trying to figure out whether I should take my braids out, put in a perm to go on an interview. But I see you, I follow you on social media, and I see how you wear your natural hair, and you gave me confidence, and I got the job." And I gave her a hug. I'm like, "You don't
And that's going to be so many people, whether they're vocal or not, people are watching. And you're in such a large position that you're going to be looked up to. And they're going to say, "Oh, well, if she can wear her hair natural, I surely can."
But you know, it's all about self-acceptance.
Yes.
Right? You have to get there. And it took me some time to get there because I was not there. And I did the big chop, but then I fell back because I'm like, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to style my hair. I don't want people to say anything to me. Right? But then, like, wait a minute, this is me. This is how the hair grow out of my head.
Right.
And you know, and then I met to do it every time. You guys, you know, shape my hair, gave me some tips. I'm good now.
Yes, I see, because you styling your own hair.
Yes, done by me.
Yes, do all the color. I told you, I was like, wait a minute, let me find out.
Let me find out. I can only use my hair.
Well, the both of you ladies have styled my hair, have cut my hair, have given me the tools and the resources, and like I can do my own hair now. And the most important thing that both of you taught me is how to care for my hair. Right? So I am caring for my hair now. I'm wearing a protective style because I am caring for, my hair, to make sure that I need it to be a little fuller for my natural hair. So while I'm wearing a protective style, I'm treating it, right? Washing those edges.
Yes.
Right. Before you put the oil on it. That was
see. Thank you for saying that, because there's absolutely nothing wrong with wearing protective styles. But you said the most important thing is what you do, because that's what makes it protective, right? If you're wearing something, you're adding something into your hair, and you're not caring for it, then that's where the damage comes. You still have to care for your scalp and for your hair. And what I heard you say, like a little bit earlier, was you didn't have the support you needed in the beginning. So that's where the struggle was for you. But then once you started, educating yourself, and then two, embracing it, but then you met Vasia and you got the point is, you became a little more like, I can do this. I'm good.
And I can pull for you.
That's the goal.
Exactly.
And that's the goal. Like, especially, that's the only way for you to really love your hair, is if you know how to take care of it yourself.
Exactly. I appreciate that. Okay, so now that we have gotten here, what advice would you give? And I would like you to personally, for all women, but specifically for women that are in corporate America, women who might have certain positions and feel like they cannot go natural because they're looking at someone like yourself who have been in corporate, who have have, title that you have. Like, what encouragement or what advice or what could you offer for them to help them along their journey to embracing their hair?
Well, number one, you have to look in the mirror and look at yourself. Right? You have to really look at yourself and love who you are, flaws and all.
Yes.
Right? No one is perfect.
Yes.
Right? No one is perfect. There are things on our bodies that we're like, oh, but it is what it is, right?
You gotta change your mindset.
I just did that this morning.
But it is what it is.
Right.
But afterwards, like, you have to take off, the saying, how you take off all your makeup, right?
And
if you
the layers.
Yes, take off those layers, peel those onions, right? And look and embrace. Like, ask yourself the question: do I want to go natural? And why
Right.
I want to go
Right.
natural?
Right.
You have to answer those two questions. And once you have those two questions, then you have to seek out a support system.
Yeah.
Especially if you were like me and didn't know how to do your hair.
Right.
Or if you have damage to your hair,
Or if you have damage
hair
to your
loss,
hair,
right.
you need support. So that may require you're gonna have to pay, right? You have to find a stylist, specialist,
Right.
and you're gonna have to pay because you want to make sure that you look good not only on the outside but on the inside, right? Sometimes you have to change what you're eating
Right.
because that affects your hair.
Yes.
Now, I'm not no subject matter expert, so everybody know. I don't have those alphabets behind my name, but let me tell you,
Right.
I do have some experience because I am natural.
Right.
So that's what I want people to know.
Right. Share your experience.
Like
But
Angela
that's-
said,
No,
listen.
right. Sharing experiences because that's really what it's about. And that's why we invite you here to share your story. Because your story could inspire someone else. So it's not that you're an expert. Vasia and I, we have the licenses and the degrees, and we've been doing this for years. But
So we
sitting
also
down,
have personal experience.
experiences come from working with most women. But that's what really connects you to women is the experience, is being able to share those stories. So thank you so much for sharing those stories. And so now I'd love for you to share how you and Vasia got connected because we've worked together on several different things, right? But I know Vasia met you when you started doing her hair and you kind of inspired her to become a stylist and go along that path, right, Vasia?
I was at your house.
That's when I was there.
And what did I say to you? I said, I know someone that I have to connect you with.
Yes.
And I connected the
Yeah.
two of you, and I'm on your podcast.
Yes, right?
See?
Together.
See?
That's a connection.
Full
So-
circle moment.
Full circle moment. And I remember you doing my hair. And she like, I have products. I'm like, you have products? I'm like, girl, you better start selling those products.
Yes. You were definitely one of the clients that put the battery in my bag to really put it out there. Because at first it was just, I was making the products and using it on your hair, but it wasn't packaged to actually sell.
Exactly.
And then I started making like the travel sizes, and then you guys are like, oh, I want more, and and the rest is history. But it's, I want to say this, right? I don't know if you realize, but like, you were one of my first clients. You were there from the very beginning. Because remember, we knew each other because you had your organization, Natural Haircare Experts. I had my youth program. So, and we got the grandparents together. So we started to build that relationship.
Wow.
Yeah. So we this was even way before I even had the thought to do natural hair, So I definitely appreciate you trusting me to take you on your hair journey and help you because it's not easy.
Hair, right?
I know.
It's your hair. So for me in the beginning, right, a lot of the techniques that were self-taught, right? So I had to learn, what I would do is I would practice on myself. So practicing on myself, people seeing my hair and they're like, oh, can you do my hair? Can you do my hair? I was constantly getting that question. So I ended up starting the business. But the challenge was I wasn't licensed. So I couldn't really put myself out there. I couldn't put myself into of actual salon setting legally, right? So I remember you and I having that discussion, and I remember you saying there has to be some way to make this, to change this, because you make your own products and your products are natural. You don't do any chemical processing. And I'm like, yeah, why spend $20,000 at cosmetology school when I don't have any intention, no intention of touching a chemical, you know, because I honestly feel like it's unsafe for my clients. And it's unsafe for me to be exposed to relaxer fumes and these different treatments all the time. So what I found that was so courageous, and I was so happy that you did, once you became a politician, once you became assemblywoman, you took reins and you really helped the natural hair community. You helped stylists, natural hair care stylists, be able to actually work, hair braiders and everything. So I want you to tell me a little bit about that, and tell me if someone wants to have a natural hair care business, how does it work? How does the requirements work now?
Okay. Oh wow, you just said the whole story, right? Well, you know, I am an assemblywoman, and as an assemblywoman, you write laws, right? You create laws, and the cosmetology license, it is upwards of $20,000, and you have to spend a lot of hours, right? And a lot of people, they have to work, so they don't have the opportunity to go to school for those many hours, so a lot of hours to be able to get their license. But then on the flip side, you have some like yourself who say, I'm not going to touch chemicals, right? So I created a piece of legislation for the hair braiding license, right? So that would be separate from the cosmetology license, and that is 40 to 50 hours, up to 40 to 50 hours, and nominal fee. But listening to you and then other just do natural hair, I had to do something. And as a lawmaker, like, oh, I can't do something. But I had to get a group of people behind me to support it, right?
I have a question, because I know in New York they had a braiders license, right? It just wasn't here in New Jersey.
That's what I had to do. I had to go to New York to get my license.
Usually in New York you can't use license from state to state.
Right. It's not I forgot the word.
Reciprocity.
So that was the challenge. So I'm licensed, right? But I'm not licensed in the state that I'm in. So it's like it's still a catch-22. I could work in New York just fine, but
now you can go to school over here in New Jersey because it is a law. 2019.
And it's funny, because even with you, like me, I knew I was never going to use chemicals. But just being a business owner, I wanted to know everything about the cosmetology, because I never wanted anyone to come into my business and know more than me. So I went and I just did it just so that I have that license. So no one, because if you want to own a business, you have to have a license or a manager that have a license in the business. So that's why I did it. So my intent was never to do hair. I just wanted to own the business.
Yes.
But of course you start out and you start doing hair, you start building your clientele, and you get stuck because you gotta eat.
But now with the braiding license, you can actually own a store.
That's really?
Yes, it looks at your background, how many years
of experience.
Right, because sometimes you do have to get that person who already have that license.
So ready to manage, right?
But that's only a couple of years.
Right.
You can go open up your own shop.
Right.
So and it's less money because you're not touching chemicals, but you also still have to learn sanitation.
So the most important thing,
yes,
and that's what they were forcing you really to go to cosmetology.
Sanitation.
It was more of the sanitation. It was more of recognizing hair and scalp disorders
and infection
controls,
and decontamination.
Yeah.
So that's what they did in New York. So like in New York, you do your barber license and then you get your natural hair license.
Well,
so now
I'm working on
you You don't have to do all that.
No, it's just the hair braiding license.
Yes.
But now I have a piece of legislation that I introduced, right? Is for barbers to have a barber license.
Without
Because,
cosmetology.
yes.
Nice.
I'm working on that.
Very nice.
Because some
It's the same
barbers,
thing.
they just want to cut hair, right? And I'm tying an apprenticeship program into that. Yes, for the barbers. So
That is amazing.
yeah, so that's already out there. I'm working on it to make it into law. And I just announced, well, it was just announced just this month for the cosmetology world to be taught how to work on textured hair.
Yes! Yes! Yes!
Whoa! So it's not going to be just a chapter, like a small chapter anymore. It's going to actually be
Absolutely.
Part of the curriculum.
This is so that's so great.
It's huge.
Yes.
Yes.
Because I remember when I was in school, like literally, because they give us all the same textbook, whether you're barber license or not. And I remember, like, it was just a small little section, like it's like a little 1 day instruction.
I introduced the bill this year
Yes.
for the cosmetology curriculum to have textured hair inside.
Because more and more
Yeah.
women are wearing their hair natural. So I think it just makes sense
Yeah.
that if you're in school, that it makes you more versatile.
Right.
So you need
Yeah.
to learn how to work on all textured hair. And because more and more women are wearing their hair natural, they are looking to stylists to educate them.
Yeah, but also,
That's-
Samiko, you got to think about this. It's not just the black and browns. You have Caucasians who have textured hair.
Exactly.
Right? It's not just us.
Exactly.
Right? So,
Right. And you're having more and more mixed
exactly.
children and people, so biracial people, yeah. So to be able to hand manipulate and work with all textured hair is super.
So you as the stylist, you feel more educated and empowered to do the hair, and you as the client feel more at ease knowing and confident knowing that your stylist knows what he or
She's more
she is doing.
diverse. Exactly.
It's a win-win situation.
Yes, I love it. I love it. It's great because we definitely didn't have it. I was very, very, very fortunate to, again, get the experience through working at a salon before I even went into cosmetology school. So that was great, but you don't have that. And that was one of the reasons why I sold my salon, was so that I could do more of the educational part because it wasn't out there. Because I could not believe that women would come into my salon and be like, there's no place to go. Like, it's so hard to find salons that, one, really specialize and understand my hair texture, and then 2, teach me how to do it, and then 3, have a professional environment. So these were all the things, especially because I work with women like yourself. That was the majority of my clientele. It was professional women, so they valued their time.
Yes.
They valued their service. They valued being educated. And more women, now that they're going natural, this is what they're looking for. And so the schools have to step up. They have to be able to provide.
Absolutely. And you know, back in 2018, the young gentleman named Andrew, who's a wrestler,
Yes.
who had to forfeit the match, his wrestling match, or cut his dreads.
And they cut his dreads,
And
right?
they butchered them right there. And until today, I still am so upset that not one person stood up and stopped. Not one. And I'm happy that he won.
He won.
He won.
That
He won
day.
the match.
But it took away his joy.
Almost his identity.
Yeah.
Because those locks were a part of who he was.
Exactly.
And so when you cut them off against his will, you don't understand the psychological damage that does for someone, right? To someone. It's like, my child, and I'm angry and I don't want to comb her hair, and I just cut off all her hair.
Exactly.
Right?
But you know what? I was sitting on the couch like this, and I was watching the news, and it came up, and I had a light bulb moment. Like, oh my gosh, I'm a legislator.
Yes.
I can write a law. So I introduced the Crown Act.
Yes.
That's
in
how
New
that
Jersey.
started.
That's how it started. So I didn't call it Crown Act. I called it, hey, you cannot discriminate against right? I did not know, had no idea that California and the state of New York, they were already working on the Crown Act. So Dove they reached out to me because they saw that I had the bill. It was just no discrimination, right? You cannot discriminate. It wasn't called the Crown Act. But then they reached out to me and they said that they were already working in California and New York and they want to collaborate. So then we changed it to call it the Crown Act for New Jersey. And New Jersey became the third state to sign into law the Crown Act.
Yes! Yes!
And it was because I was watching the news and I saw the young man had to either forfeit his match or cut his dreads, and they butchered his dreads. And I like, this can never happen. This should not happen. And our governor, he signed it a year after the incident happened. So it happened in 2018 in December, and he signed it
A year to date.
2019.
So my question was, how did it even get that far, right? Because he's been wrestling for, you have to practice and you have to enter, and he looked the way he looked when he did all of that. So how did we get to that? I mean, we probably...
That is a good question, and I don't know. But that is a good question,
right?
Because he had to win to make
There's
it to the competition.
Right, there's a process. And throughout that
Dreads didn't grow
process...
overnight.
Right. These were years of growing out his locks.
Right, they didn't grow like yesterday.
Yeah.
Right, so...
Yeah, I was never able to meet him. You know, his family just kept, protected him, which is great, and I
Right,
love that.
of course.
But I always say, anytime I talk about him, I always say, it's because of you that no one else will be discriminated
Have to experience that.
over what grows out of your head. And I say thank you so much. And I'm so happy that he won the match as well, because he did not let that define him. And like you said, psychological, right? What was he thinking? That I'm standing here. Think about the scissors that I use. Right?
Exactly.
They were not hair cutting scissors.
Exactly.
What type of scissors did the referee use?
There's some regular.
Or whomever
Right,
did,
they just
use.
They use the scissors, not shears.
Right.
You know?
So, God,
No.
you're probably gonna ask the same thing, right? So we're
I'm done with
here
TV.
now. I know. I have some good
Okay,
but
I like it.
because we're running out of
All
time.
right, so let me
we
get
gotta
a
wrap
chance
this up. Yep.
to ask you the question. So, with the Crown Act now, what do we do if we are, because this is amazing what you've done, because this is not just for recreational activities, but this is for employment.
Yes.
This is for schools
Yes.
and other institutions that people use and that is contribute to the quality of life. So
Workforce.
in the workforce. So I want to make I have an important question, because the law is here, right? What are the repercussions for an employer that breaks that rule? So say for instance, I go into my job and I have my ethnic hairstyle, I have in my bantu knots, and they say, "Oh, why are you wearing your hair like that? You know what? I really like the way your hair looked before. Maybe you should go back to that." That's a microaggression. If you experience that, what can you do, and how can you get the Crown Act behind you?
That is a great question. I knew she was going to ask that question. That's why I always bring my notes. So it's a violation under the Division on Civil Rights, right? So number one, if you're in work, you should have a process in place, right? Go on HR, right? Because you have to file that report. If it's your direct manager, maybe you go to their manager, right? You have to follow your company's policy. On the flip side, you have to file a complaint to the Division on Civil Rights. And I do have a number.
Oh,
The number is, you ready for the number?
Yes.
It's for New Jersey. Now this is for the state of New Jersey. It's 833-653-2748. Now I'm going to say this. The act updates the state's existing law against discrimination, right? So, and the same penalties will apply. So here we go. A first violation could draw a fine up to $10,000. The maximum penalty for a second violation within 5 years, 25,000.
Oh wow.
And while a third and subsequent violation within 7 years could bring a fine up to 50,000. So that's our state here in New Jersey. So it's filed under Division on Civil Rights.
That's gonna get them. That's gonna get
saying to you, I like the hairstyle you had before. Like, why are you wearing that style? That's so literally. That's I had no idea.
So you go onto the website, the Division on Civil Rights, or you can call and you file a complaint. Now you have to go through the complaint process, right? Because that's a process. But you file a complaint. But also you should definitely go through your HR too, right? Because there has to be a process. If some type of discrimination is happening at the job, there has to be a process in place.
And I gave that example because a lot of times this stuff happens, but you don't think anything of it. You may get a little offended, but you don't think beyond that, because when it comes to hair discrimination, a lot of times what we immediately think of is bullying.
Yes.
Like straight up, oh, your hair is nappy. Oh, why are you wearing your, I don't want you wearing your hair like that. Laughter at it. So the microaggressions are they can be very subtle, but just as bad. So unfortunately, a lot of people in the workplace that are experiencing this type of hair discrimination don't even realize it and think they don't have a voice.
So this is why it's so important, and you mentioned this earlier, Meko, about education, right? So we need to continue to educate the community about what it means to be discriminated against, right? We can talk about all, but also hair is included in discrimination law for the state of New Jersey, as well as there are some other states. And I know our U.S. Senator Cory Booker, he introduced it from a federal standpoint, and he's still fighting to get that done. But the Crown Act, that coalition, they've been going to different states to get the Crown Act implemented in all 50 states. So they're still working, but we also have our senator who's working on the federal level. So for the state of New Jersey, we have it, it's here, it's been implemented, it's been signed, and it's active. So if you feel that you're being discriminated against, you go through the process, right? But you have to be, like you said, you have to be educated. And it's up to the two of you ladies, as well as other professionals, to get out there and continue to educate the community on their rights, especially for our hair, what grows out of our hair.
I want to say thank you on behalf of the entire natural hair community, because we need this. We needed this. And you have been monumental in making this change. And I'm even getting emotional because I know how hard it is with going through the journey of the big chop, and you're trying to figure out what to do with your texture. You may not even like your own hair texture.
Yeah, what's that 4C?
Right, you're saying to
Am I
yourself,
forcing?
oh, my hair is happy.
I don't do that.
So
prefer texture stuff.
You've made it, because 4C hair is actually the hair that is most discriminated against. Right? Because it's not people like the looser curls and all that. So what you've done has really helped is especially the type 4 hair community. So I thank you so much.
Together.
Yes.
Always say we.
So do you have any more questions?
I think we've covered everything.
Yes.
So thank you so much. Thank you so
Love
much
you,
for
ladies.
joining us. We
Keep doing what you're doing. Love you.
for joining
Keep doing what you're doing.
So
thank
what
you
word
so
do you want
much.
to leave us with?
Yes.
What word do you want to leave us with?
Continue to be your authentic self.
Yes.
Thank you, and thank you for teaching us. The one thing I could say that I've gotten from you, Angela, just working with you on so many different levels, is to thank myself.
Thank yourself. You've been doing it?
You know I have.
Okay.
I'm looking in the mirror every day and saying thank you, because it's easier for us to acknowledge and thank everyone else. And it's so hard to look in the mirror and to say thank you to yourself. And like you said, that it's okay, because if you're authentic, you're going to make mistakes. We are imperfect, but you can still be happy with who you are, mistakes and all. So thank you for teaching me that. Thank you for teaching me to, to really thank myself for the big and the little things.
See, I think I'm gonna hire her as my spokesperson. I'm thinking now.
You
got it.
Thank you, Angela.
Well, thank you.
so
I
much.
appreciate the both of you. Continue to do what you do.
Yes.
Continue to be authentic and love on yourself and continue to love on the natural community.
Yes.
Because
Our
we
goal
need
is
you.
to continue
Yes.
helping women to really learn and love and own
Their health. Yeah, natural.
Well, you help me. I'm good.
Yes.
So we're going to continue, definitely.
Thank
All
you.
So thank you so much. So our next episode is we want to piggyback on some of the things you said, and we want to help natural hair stylists to help them to be able to start their own businesses. Right? So you being here today and being here to talk about this first is really important, and I thank you for it. We thank you for it. And
Yes.
so
So until next time,
have a happy, healthy hair day.